This helps us come to terms with the reality that Suzanne is no longer with us, allowing us to continue the difficult process of grieving and focus on rebuilding our lives for the sake of the children and our extended family.
Welcome back to Closing Arguments. I'm Ted Rowlands, filling in for Vinny this evening. We're switching gears now to Texas, where a newly unsealed affidavit reveals more detail in realtor Suzanne Simpson's disappearance. She was last seen alive on the evening of October 6th, and her body has still not been found. Suzanne's husband, Brad Simpson, now charged with her murder, and now almost a week after he was formally charged, his arrest warrant has been unsealed. Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson has more, including the details of what is contained in the 9-page affidavit that reveals the evidence against Brad Simpson.
Hi, good evening. Surveillance video, construction and cleaning supplies, all part of the evidence spelled out in this arrest warrant against the Texas man accused of killing his wife. Newly unsealed court documents obtained by Court TV show what murder suspect Brad Simpson was doing hours after his wife disappeared, according to investigators. Simpson is accused of killing his wife Suzanne in October of this year. Her body has not yet been found. According to court documents, his truck is spotted in a number of places, including a Whataburger restaurant with trash bags, a heavy-duty trash can, ice chest, and a large bulky item wrapped in a blue tarp in the bed of the truck. He is also seen on surveillance video at a local Home Depot where he approaches a man asking for directions to a nearby dump. Inside the store, police say that he paid in cash for bags of cement, a construction bucket, heavy-duty trash cans, Clorox spray, and bug repellent. Investigators say his truck is later spotted near the dump and at a car wash with cement on the outside. At the time of his arrest, police say that he was at a burn pile where 3 cell phones and a laptop were later recovered. Search warrant reveals 2 notes in those phones titled "This Next Life" and, quote, "Last Will and Testament." He didn't show any emotion or ask why he was being arrested at that time. Simpson is facing several charges tonight, including murder. That's the very latest on the case. We'll send it back to you.
Our thanks to Matt. We're back with the Think Tank. Michael Sterling, Rachel Kaufman, and Randy Kessler. This, typically a no-body prosecution is tough, but they seem to have a lot.
Yeah, it's one of the rules that you tell your clients, as soon as they get caught, 1, don't say anything, don't talk, and 2, assume everything's on video or camera somewhere because we're surveilled so much in this day and age. And I think he thought he was going to be able to outsmart paying in cash, getting away with something like that.
He left his cell phone at home.
Leaving his cell phone at home, all of those things. But you cannot outrun technology this day and age. You have to assume things are on surveillance. So his better position would have been to just say absolutely nothing and assume he was on surveillance, but instead he went a different route.
Yeah, your thoughts, Rachel, on what we learned today, it's a game changer, because there was a confidence, you could feel it in those press conferences with investigators. They had it, and they filed without a body.
Yeah,
now we know why.
Yeah, this is the kind of case where even though there is no body, they don't need a body in this case. I mean, he did so much that there's so much evidence that it's just impossible.
Classic, he doesn't have his phone, so he doesn't know how to get to the dump. He doesn't have the map, so he goes up to some random dude at the Home Depot and says,
yeah, how do I get to the dump?
And guess what? That's on video. Randy, you deal with relationships a lot in your practice, and it is always hard for people to think, boy, you were married for 22 years, you have a family, you have kids, and it goes from... And the reporting is that she had asked for a divorce, and it was. Give us some insight into how people can go from love to hate like that.
Well, I think a lot of people fantasize about this kind of stuff. It's not unnatural to think, what if? I mean, I hate this person so much, but to go from thinking about it or having a bad dream or telling your therapist about it to actually doing it, I mean, I agree with Rachel and with Michael that if you didn't have a body and you had to create a case that says, let me get the best circumstantial evidence I could possibly have. There's, a lumpy item in the back of the truck. There's the, garbage bags. There's all this stuff. But, I still, and I've been doing this for almost 40 years as a divorce lawyer, I don't see how people go from, I want to divorce this person to, I want this person dead. I mean, the mother of your children or the person you fell in love with or the person you proposed. How do you get to that sense of anger? I mean, there are couples that wouldn't even think harm. They just don't get along. And there's some that hate each other, but that's a whole nother level. I still don't get it.
Yeah, and if you were defending him, knowing what you know about the evidence, is it a problem? Because, you know, a no-body prosecution typically is a problem for the state. In this case, it doesn't seem to be. So would you maybe waive time and rush this along before they find the body?
Yeah, if it's possible, right? You want to try to, you know, get to trial as quickly as possible. Of course, you want to see what all of the discovery they have out there. Obviously, we know the big items. You want to see what else they have. And then you want to try to find out, is there an alternative explanation for everything that has happened? Is there a reason he left his cell phone at home? Is there a reason he had, you know, this big lumpy bag? Is there a reason he paid in cash? So you start trying to figure out, is there some alternative explanation that is reasonable that I can explain to a jury? I don't know if it's there. Maybe he has a story that we haven't heard. We don't know what his narrative is yet. Maybe there's a reason, there's an explanation for all of these things. And then the fact that there's not a body and he has a reasonable explanation, maybe you can work with that. But this case has a lot of trouble and circumstantial evidence, and it's going to be hard to explain all of those facts away.
So another thing that he would possibly be able to do, and again, he seems to think that he's getting away with this, so leading him to water in this sense would maybe be hard, but the fact that there is not a body, you do have some kind of leverage in trying to work out some kind of...
You criminal defense lawyers, you want to hurry up before they find the body.
Well, no,
if he's innocent, wouldn't you want to delay it until they find her alive?
Well, but I'm saying that if he knows where she is, yeah,
you can work out a deal.
Yeah, you could possibly work out a deal if it's important to people to know where she is, and he knows where she is.
So you can say, the prosecutors can go to the family and say, look, if he tells us where the body is, what you all want, and we give him a manslaughter where he does, you know, in Texas you can get 40 years, give him a manslaughter where he's going to do 40 years. He's old enough, you know, 40 years could be basically the rest of his life. In Texas, you're eligible for parole after 20. He's probably not going to get parole ever in Texas. So you may be able to work out some sort of deal.
And that's maybe the only, that's like the only
we've seen that
leverage
before
he
where
has.
they'll take the death penalty off the table if you show us where the body is.
Correct.
But you need a buy-in with the family. In this case, it's, you know, unique. The kids believe he did it. And the oldest has come out publicly, and the middle one also talked about an argument. And I mean, it just seems like there's so much evidence in this case.
You know, other things happen if you find the body. First of all, she could be alive, right? That gets rid of the case. Or you find the body and you can see the cause of death. I mean, there's some defenses that might be there. You know, it was a cause of death and maybe it was an accident and then he covered it up. There are a lot of things going on in this case. Not having a body, I mean, you pin all your hopes on that, right, Michael? If you're in court, you're like, they didn't prove that anybody died.
I'd rather have a body and not have him have done the things that he did, honestly.
You look at this woman, she's beautiful, and she was a realtor's mother. Her mother actually talked about Brad publicly. Take a listen.
She called me up and told me the things that Brad had done to her physically. Well, I came up with an alternative plan for her in the hope that she'd move in with me. I never got to tell her the plan.
Do you think that Brad's responsible for her disappearance?
Angela, thank you.
I agree with that. I would like to visit with him and ask him why. What happened?
Oh, it's heartbreaking to have to, you know, for that family, what they're dealing with this guy who was part of the family, and he's responsible.
Yeah, and you know that case Vinny hates to talk about down in Florida.
Yes.
Right? That Casey Anthony case.
We don't
say
not supposed
his
to
name.
say Casey Anthony
Right.
on this show.
But
I've been told that.
But sometimes it looks like you're cooked as a defense attorney, and sometimes there's an opportunity. Once more facts and evidence come out, once a defense attorney has an opportunity to build their narrative, you start to undermine that doubt, start to undermine that case, raise a little reasonable doubt, and you never know what 12 people in the box are going to do. Juries are notoriously unpredictable.
They are, but this is Texas, A, and B, you're talking about a very sympathetic victim, and there is not one person that has come forward, at least yet, saying anything good about Dad, including the family members. I mean, you saw the Morpheview case. His daughter supported him during that. That isn't the case here, Rachel. If this goes to trial, which we expect it will, because it's a murder case, this jury is going to hate him, likely.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like there was a lot that was going on within the home leading up to her disappearing that would lead everybody, you know, all of her family members are thinking I need to get her out of there. I mean, to have a mother not be able to fulfill this plan, like an escape plan for her daughter, not even get to tell her what the plan was, but was planning to rescue her. The fact that she wasn't able to do that before she disappeared, the fact that you have the kids in the home saying that they heard that there was a disturbance and that mom's phone is gone, you know, all these different things. I think his best bet is honestly saying that they got into some kind of fight and that somebody comes out and they'll possibly be able to say that she participated, you know, that it took two to tango. That's a tough sell too, given.
I don't know. I put all my eggs in the basket if there's nobody. It takes one, right? Just one person on the jury saying, I think he probably did it. Yeah, we all think he did it, but I'm not sure. There's nobody. What if she's alive somewhere? One person.
Right.
You convince one person.
We'll see. Thank you all. Appreciate your time and expertise. Let's get a break here. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll reveal something else you need to know. Plus, coming up next hour.
Tonight on Vinnie Politan Investigates, Corey Richens released a book for grieving children shortly after the death of her husband. Then she was charged with his murder. What was Corey's alleged motive to kill, and why did she write that book?
Join Court TV's Vinnie Politan with the latest and breaking true crime stories.
Now, let's look at the other side of all of that.
Vinnie Politan Investigates, coming up next, only on Court TV.
This case, brutal murder of Laken Riley.
We have a suspect. He did not know her at all.
Such a violent act. Will there be justice for Laken Riley?
The murder of Laken Riley. Live coverage begins Friday, only on Court TV.
All right, time for something else you need to know. Accused killer Karen Reed back in a Massachusetts courtroom today for a motions hearing ahead of her January retrial. Among the motions discussed today was a request by the defense to postpone her retrial until April. Earlier this month, of course, the Massachusetts Supreme Court heard arguments from her attorneys asking for the top charges to be dismissed in the death of her Boston police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe, all based on double jeopardy. That was their argument. Reed is accused of backing her SUV into O'Keefe and leaving him to die on the snowy road in 2022. We all watched this trial the first time around. She claimed she was framed in a widespread cover-up by local law enforcement. During today's hearing, both the state and the defense argued a number of motions, including a Commonwealth motion to obtain Verizon cell phone records, a defense motion to unseal some sidebar conferences from the first trial, not to the public, that would be great, only to the lawyers so that the Commonwealth's new prosecutor could get up to speed. Also at issue, prosecutors notifying the court they intend to reassemble and retest the black box and the infotainment system in Karen Reed's Lexus. Judge Beverly Canoni reserved ruling on all of the motions today, and she did set some dates for evidentiary hearings, expressing urgency around the need to start moving forward. Reed will be back in court again on November the 26th, and we will be there. Before we go, I want to tell you to look at your screen, take a good look. 17-year-old Janice Elise Jenkins has been missing since November 7th. She was last seen in Orlando, Florida. If you have any information about her whereabouts, please call the Orlando Police Department, the number there right on your screen, or you can call 1-800-THE-LOST. Let's try to bring Janice home soon.